In the quiet of my home, surrounded by memories and Mark's possessions, I was trying to find solace. I'm Ava, a 36-year-old widow, who swapped school corridors and children's laughter for the tranquility of private tutoring. My days revolved around music lessons, Mr. Whiskers, and the constant, silent gaze of the cat-shaped video camera, my digital eye on the world that Mark left behind. The doorbell's ring broke the monotony, an unusual interruption in my carefully structured solitude. It was Lily, my younger sister, with her daughter, Emily. Their sudden appearance at my doorstep was as unexpected as a snowstorm in spring. "Hey, Ava. Just thought we'd drop by. How've you been holding up?" Lily's voice had the usual chirpiness, but her eyes, always too keen, were scanning the living room, taking in every detail. I ushered them in, a reluctant host. "I'm managing, Lily. And you?" "I heard about the divorce." Lily shrugged, a carefully casual gesture. "Oh, you know, life happens. But look at you, living in this big house, all this luxury." Her gaze lingered on the items that were once part of Mark's daily life. "It's not luxury, Lily. It's what's left of Mark," I replied, the words heavier than I intended. As the afternoon wore on, Lily's presence, once a mere annoyance, felt increasingly oppressive. Her comments, masked as casual observations, were probing, intrusive. The house, the belongings, my life under her relentless scrutiny. And then, as they prepared to leave, Lily's parting words left me uneasy. "We should do this more often, Ava. Family should stick together, right?" Her words, though seemingly innocent, felt loaded with an unspoken agenda. I nodded, non-committal, already dreading the next unexpected ring of the doorbell. As the door closed behind them, the silence settled back in, a stark reminder of the solitude I both cherished and mourned. I glanced at Mr. Whiskers, snoozing peacefully, oblivious to the complexities of human relationships. "Looks like our quiet was just interrupted, Mr. Whiskers," I whispered, a sense of foreboding slowly creeping in. Little did I know, this was merely the prelude to the storm that was about to engulf my life. Lily's visits were becoming as predictable as they were unwelcome. It was a Tuesday, just past noon, when her knock echoed through the house, a disruptive force against the melody of a piano lesson I was conducting. My student, a shy boy of 10, jolted at the sound. I excused myself and opened the door to find Lily and Emily standing there, Lily with that all-too-familiar look of unsolicited advice ready on her lips. "Ava, darling. You really need to brighten up this place," she declared, her voice piercing the calm ambience of my home. I sighed, feeling the weight of her presence. "Lily, I'm in the middle of a lesson. Can this wait?" She breezed past me, her disregard for my words as evident as her disregard for my personal space. "Nonsense, he won't mind. Besides, I've got some great ideas for you." I followed her into the living room, my concern for my student growing. "Lily, please. This isn't a good time." But she was already surveying the room, her gaze landing on Mark's belongings, his old guitar, the stack of books he loved, the photographs of our travels together. "You know, Ava, you could make a killing selling some of Mark's old stuff. It's just sitting here, collecting dust," she suggested, her tone casual, as if she were discussing the weather. A sharp pain clenched my heart. "Those things are not just stuff, Lily. They're memories. They're not for sale." She shrugged, her insensitivity on full display. "Memories don't pay the bills, Ava. You've got to be practical. And speaking of practical, have you thought about putting yourself out there again? It's high time you moved on." I felt the room spin slightly at her words. "Lily, my personal life is not up for discussion. And I'll thank you to keep your opinions to yourself." Emily, who had been a silent observer until now, interjected, her voice a soothing balm. Mom, maybe we should respect Aunt Ava's feelings. It's her life, after all. Lily shot her a look, then turned back to me. Oh, come on, Ava. You can't bury yourself in the past forever. There's a whole world out there. New people to meet, new experiences to be had. The boy, who had been trying to focus on his sheet music, looked up, his eyes wide with a mix of confusion and curiosity. Miss Ava, is everything okay? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I forced a smile, my heart aching with a mix of anger and sorrow. Yes, everything's fine. Let's get back to your lesson. Music is a great escape, isn't it? As I turned back to the piano, the notes we played together did little to drown out Lily's words that echoed in my head. Her presence, once merely annoying, was now a disruptive storm, uprooting the tranquility I had cultivated in my life after Mark's passing. The lesson ended, and the boy left, his glance back at the door revealing his concern. I sat there, the silence of the room now a void filled with Lily's words and the chaos they brought. Lily's visits had morphed from an annoyance into a full-blown invasion of my space. It was a Wednesday afternoon, and I was in the middle of a violin lesson with one of my most diligent students when a familiar, unwelcome knock came. I opened the door to find Lily and Emily, their presence as disruptive as a thunderclap in a quiet sky. Hi, Lily, Emily. I'm right in the middle of something, I said, hoping my tone would convey the urgency of my situation. Lily, as always, brushed off my concerns. Oh, we won't be a bother. Just carry on. Before I could protest, they were inside, Lily making herself comfortable on the couch and flipping on the TV, the volume loud enough to drown out the gentle strains of the violin. I closed the door and turned to them, frustration simmering. Lily, really? I'm working. This isn't a good time. Lily waved a dismissive hand. Relax, Ava. It's just a bit of TV. Besides, Emily's hungry. You don't mind if she grabs something to eat, do you? Before I could answer, Emily was already rummaging through my fridge, the quiet hum of my home now replaced by the blaring TV and the clatter from the kitchen. I returned to my student, trying to salvage the lesson, but the disturbance was too much. Notes were missed, and the focus was lost. The lesson ended early, with apologies and a promise to make up for the lost time. Once the door closed behind my student, I turned to confront Lily, my patience worn thin. Lily, this has to stop. You can't just barge in here and take over. I have students, I have a schedule, and I have my own life. Lily looked up, unfazed. Oh, lighten up, Ava. It's not like we're here all the time. And your family. Family helps each other out. I felt a surge of anger. Helping out is one thing. Taking over is another. You're disrupting my work, Lily. And Emily, going through my fridge without asking? That's not okay. Emily, who had been quietly snacking at the kitchen counter, looked up, her eyes wide. I'm sorry, Aunt Ava. I just thought. I sighed, my anger softening at her genuine apology. It's okay, Emily. Just please ask next time. Turning back to Lily, I knew I had to stand my ground. Lily, listen. I love you, you're my sister. But if you're going to come over, I need you to respect my space and my rules. The room fell silent, the tension thick. Lily got up, her movements deliberate. Fine, Ava. Have it your way. Come on, Emily, let's go. After a week of silence, Lily's knock on my door felt like a bad omen. I opened the door with a guarded expression, bracing myself for another round of uninvited chaos. Ava, let's go shopping. A girl's day out, what do you say? Lily's voice was chirpy, but her eyes were calculating. I hesitated. I don't know, Lily. I've got a lot on my plate. Before I knew it, we were in the mall, Lily and Emily sweeping through stores like a whirlwind, piling clothes upon clothes on their arms. Ava, look at this dress. Isn't it gorgeous? Lily held up a sequined number, her face alight with excitement. It's nice, I replied, my enthusiasm failing to match hers. As we approached the checkout, Lily's demeanor changed. She patted her purse with a frown. Oh no. I think I forgot my card at home. My heart sank. I knew where this was heading. Lily, that's a lot of clothes. Maybe we can put some back? I suggested, hoping to minimize the damage. But Lily was already handing the clothes to the cashier. Ava, could you cover this for me? I'll pay you back, I promise. Reluctantly, I handed over my card, my stomach churning. The total amount flashed on the screen, a stark reminder of Lily's disregard for my finances. The ride home was tense. Lily chattered on, oblivious to my discomfort, while Emily sat quietly, her eyes apologetic. Ava, you're a lifesaver. I'll transfer the money to you first thing tomorrow, Lily declared as she got out of the car. I nodded, though I had little hope of seeing that money anytime soon. Lily, this can't happen again. I'm not a bank. Lily's smile faltered. Oh, Ava, don't be like that. We're family. And family helps each other out, right? But her words felt hollow, a poor excuse for taking advantage of my goodwill. As they disappeared into their house, I sat in my car, the weight of betrayal heavy on my shoulders. Days turned into weeks, and the echo of Lily's empty promises to repay the money for the shopping spree still hung in the air. I tried to brush it off, to focus on my lessons and the quiet comfort of my home. But the sense of unease, the feeling of being taken advantage of, lingered. Then, without warning, Lily appeared on my doorstep again, Emily in tow, her eyes downcast. Ava, we're in a bit of a bind, Lily started, her voice carrying an all too familiar note of desperation. Emily needs school supplies, and I'm strapped right now. I felt a tug at my heart as I looked at Emily, her expression a silent plea. Despite my frustration with Lily, I couldn't bear the thought of Emily going without. Okay. I sighed, my resolve weakening. Let's go get what you need, Emily. Lily flashed a relieved smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. There was a shadow there, a hint of something more, something I couldn't quite place. We kept the shopping trip short, sticking to the essentials. But as I handed over my card to pay, a simmering anger began to bubble up within me. Lily's promises were as flimsy as the receipts in my hand. A couple of days later, I was in the midst of a rare moment of peace when an unexpected knock at the door shattered it. A courier stood there, a pile of expensive clothes in his arms. I have a delivery for Ms. Ava, he said, offering me the package. Confusion clouded my mind. I didn't order these, I replied, my brow furrowed. That's when Lily, who had been lounging on my couch, casually strolled over. Oh, those are mine. I had them sent here. You don't mind paying for these too, right, Ava? The audacity of her request hit me like a slap in the face. This wasn't just borrowing, this was entitlement, pure and unabashed. Lily, no. Absolutely not. This has to stop, I snapped, the frustration and anger I'd been holding back finally boiling over. I'm not your personal ATM. You need to return every penny I've lent you, and you're paying for these clothes yourself. Lily's face twisted into a scowl, her usual charm replaced by indignation. Wow, Ava, really? After all the times I've helped you. Helped me? I echoed, incredulous. Lily, all you've done is take advantage of me. I can't believe you'd stoop this low. For a moment, Lily seemed taken aback, as if she hadn't expected resistance. But then, her pride took over. Fine, she spat, grabbing the clothes from the courier. Come on, Emily. We're leaving. They stormed out, leaving a wake of tension and unsaid words behind them. The door slammed shut, but the impact of what had just happened reverberated through the empty house. The house was silent, the kind of silence that feels heavy, filled with words left unsaid and emotions unprocessed. I was still reeling from the confrontation with Lily when the phone rang. It was a call I dreaded, yet somehow expected. It was Mom. Ava, what's this I'm hearing about you and Lily? She's quite upset. Mom's voice was sharp, accusatory. I took a deep breath, searching for calm. Mom, it's a complicated situation. Lily has been. Mom cut me off, her tone brooking no argument. Complicated? It's simple, Ava. Lily is going through a tough time. You should be supporting her, not adding to her troubles. The familiar pang of being misunderstood, of being the unreasonable one, hit me hard. Mom, you don't understand. Lily's been taking advantage of my generosity. She's borrowed money and hasn't paid it back. She even... Again, Mom interrupted, her words laced with disappointment. Ava, she's your sister. Family sticks together. You have more than enough, while she's struggling. Can't you just help her out? The implication stung. Mom, it's not about the money. It's about respect. Lily feels entitled to whatever I have. Where do I draw the line? Mom's sigh was loud, exasperated. You're being dramatic, Ava. Lily needs you. We all need to pitch in when family is in trouble. I could feel the old, familiar pressure, the expectation to be the responsible one, the giver. But something had shifted within me. Mom, helping is one thing, but being used is another. I've drawn the line. I'm not going to enable Lily's behavior anymore. There was a pause, and when Mom spoke again, her voice was cold. Fine, Ava. If that's how you want to be, then so be it. But remember, family is all we have in the end. The line went dead, leaving a ringing silence in my ear. The conversation replayed in my mind, each word weighing heavily on my heart. It was clear that the divide wasn't just between me and Lily, it extended to Mom, to the very idea of what family meant. The role I'd been playing, the ever-supportive, ever-forgiving sister, was one I could no longer sustain. As I sat there, the sun dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows across the room, I realized the magnitude of what had just happened. I had stood up for myself, yes, but at what cost? It was when I noticed the small voids in the spaces once filled with Mark's things that my heart sank. Those weren't just objects, they were fragments of a life once lived, of moments shared. The realization that they were missing sent a wave of despair crashing over me. It was one thing to deal with Lily's financial exploits, but this? This was personal, a violation of sacred memories. In a daze, I racked my brain, trying to piece together who could have done such a thing. Then it hit me, the cat camera. The silent guardian of my home, the unblinking eye that watched over Mr. Whiskers. I rushed to my laptop, my hands trembling as I logged in to view the footage. The screen flickered to life, revealing the heart-wrenching truth. There was Emily, her young face tense with a mix of guilt and fear, her hands clumsily grabbing at the objects that held so much of Mark's essence. Behind her, urging her on, was Lily. The sight of it, the sheer audacity and betrayal, ignited a fury in me that burned with a ferocity I'd never felt before. Without a second thought, I grabbed my phone and dialed Lily's number. The line crackled, then her voice, casual, unaware of the storm about to hit. "Lily," I began, my voice a controlled calm before the tempest. "I know what you did. The camera saw everything. Emily, taking things, your things now, on your orders." There was a moment of silence, a stutter in the rhythm of deceit. "Ava, I don't know what you're talking about," Lily replied, her voice a poorly veiled mask of innocence. "Don't insult me, Lily. The camera doesn't lie. You used your own daughter to steal from me, from Mark's memory. You have to return everything. Now," I demanded, each word laced with a venom born of betrayal. Lily's voice turned cold, a defensive edge sharpening her words. "Ava, you've really lost it. You think I would do that? You think Emily would do that? Don't play games with me, Lily. I saw it all. Return what you took, or I'll have to involve the police," I said, the threat hanging in the air, heavy and undeniable. The line went silent for a heartbeat, 2 heartbeats. Then Lily spoke, her words a hiss of defiance. "You wouldn't dare. You don't have the guts." "I'm not bluffing, Lily. This is your last chance. Return what you took, or I'll take this further," I replied, my resolve as solid as the evidence I had. The line went dead, the silence after echoing louder than the words spoken. I sat there, the phone still in my hand, a sense of surreal disbelief mixing with the raw, unfiltered anger. The breach of trust, the violation of the most intimate memories, it was all laid bare, a wound that refused to be ignored. The atmosphere was tense when Mom, Lily, and Emily arrived at my doorstep. The air was thick with unspoken accusations and the weight of recent events. I could see the anger in Mom's eyes, the desperation in Lily's, and the shame in Emily's as they stepped into the house. "Ava, how could you threaten your own sister with the police? Do you want to ruin her life?" Mom's words were sharp, cutting through the silence like a knife. I stood my ground, the resolve in my heart steeling me against the storm of emotions. "Mom, this isn't about punishment. It's about accountability. Lily crossed a line, and there have to be consequences." Lily's eyes were watery, her usual confidence replaced by a plea for sympathy. "Ava, I'm sorry. I really am. I never meant for things to go this far." But it was Emily's expression that caught my attention. The young girl looked down, her face a portrait of regret and sorrow. It was clear she was carrying a burden far too heavy for her young shoulders. I sighed, the anger in me subsiding, replaced by a profound sadness. "I just wanted my things back, Lily. The money you owed me. That's all." Without a word, Lily reached into her bag and threw a smaller bag at my feet. The clinking sound of the items inside was a stark reminder of the painful breach of trust. She then handed me an envelope, thick with the promise of repaid debts. "There," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. "That's everything. Are you happy now?" I picked up the bag and the envelope, my heart heavy. "It's not about being happy, Lily. It's about doing what's right." Mom looked at me, her expression a mix of anger and disappointment. "You've changed, Ava. You used to be forgiving, understanding. Now, look at what you've become." I met her gaze, my voice firm. "I haven't changed, Mom. I've just learned to respect myself enough to set boundaries. I wish you could understand that." The room fell silent, the tension palpable. Then, without another word, Mom, Lily, and Emily turned and left. The sound of the door closing echoed through the house, a definitive end to a painful chapter. In the quiet that followed, I realized that while the confrontation was over, the journey of healing was just beginning. I had stood up for myself, defended what was rightfully mine, but at the cost of family ties that were now more fragile than ever. The only solace in this storm was Emily. Despite everything, she remained a faint ray of hope. Our occasional correspondence, her words filled with genuine remorse and a desire to understand, offered a glimmer of a possible future, one where forgiveness and healing weren't just distant dreams.